I made it. I did it. I'm here. So it's been crazy. Welcome Tuesday, Breath with Joyce. And thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me, either live or on video. Happy to be here. Feeling really excited and relieved today. We did accomplish that goal of holding our first virtual training, and I feel very good about the outcome and the way it was received and people's reaction and their testimonies afterwards. Definitely confirmed that it was worth the effort, and there was a lot of effort by a lot of people to make that happen during this time when it is desperately needed. So thank you to everyone that attended that training. We have another one coming up. Our next one will be the end of May, on May 28th and 29th. It'll be a 2-day training. So we've condensed and streamlined some of the materials and processes so we can deliver it in 2 days. And we're doing it at 6 in the morning our time, which would make it 9 in the morning on the Eastern time, in Eastern part of the United States or the globe. So we're hoping that that makes it more accessible to a few more people. And so now I just want to get to it today. If you saw the title of the Breath with Joyce today, it is Breath with Joyce. Hopefully I wrote it in there correctly. Breath with Joyce, from chaos to calm, is more than 2 steps. So this is something I learned recently, and I like to have these little talks with you because it reminds me of a lot of truths that perhaps I've forgotten or that I've just recently reconnected with. And I feel like, we all need some reminders in times when we're lost in tomorrow or yesterday. So that all being said, let's go ahead and we're going to self-regulate. We're going to do our self-regulation, and then we're going to move into talking about just a little bit of talk on the subject of it takes more than 2 steps to get from chaos to calm. Just like it's not a light switch. It's a process. And I'll take you through that process today. And it looks like it's going to be very familiar because it's really based in self-regulation, like everything else that calms chaos in post-trauma in the body. So let's just regulate really quick so that I can catch up with my mind, body, and emotions in the room, and hopefully it helps to bring you more present as well. So just find your feet firm against the floor as your hands rest against your legs or knees. Allow the chin to drop towards the chest and begin to gaze down towards the floor. Let's start with orientation. Let's find ourselves in this friendly space we are sitting in. Whether we're indoors or out, whether we're in the living room, the bathroom, the kitchen, the front porch, we're feeling safe and grounded, noticing where we are in the space by practicing orientation, finding 4 shapes, 4 colors, or 4 textures in our field of vision. Begin to notice our connection to the space. Where are we in the space? Just keeping the gaze down, the eyelids soft. Begin to notice the texture or color of the floor or the shapes on the rug or the tile or the grass. Seeing that. Then notice on top of that our feet or shoes or socks resting there. The third thing, our skin or clothes or hands resting. Finding ourselves in our space, orienting, noticing the furniture now, the color or texture or shape. What shapes do I see in my field of vision? Name them silently to yourself. What colors do I see in my field of vision? Name them silently to yourself, and textures as well. Finding ourselves safe in our space, we then begin to ground and connect with our space and the earth. Perhaps we wiggle the toes and squish the feet a little more into the earth or the flooring, carpet. Feeling, connecting. Each point of contact becoming very obvious in the bottom of the feet and its connection to the earth or floor. Notice those points of contact as though they were heated and making a warm light connecting to the earth or the ground. Imagine the earth wrapping its hands around you, giving a little foot massage, holding you safe and secure. Maybe roots growing from the feet, how that would feel, coming out of the feet, moving into the earth. Is it rough or smooth? Is it tingle or resonate, vibrate, scrape? Notice the backs of the thighs or sit bones, feeling safe against the chair, pressing down those points and heats of contact again, illuminated, lit, heating, pushing down, and being lifted and held by the earth and our chair as roots grow, or hands or from the earth and our seat hold safely and snugly, hugging us, holding us. We hear the message. I am safe in this space, no reason to look around. I am connected and stable. I am grounded. I am oriented. I am safe. I am peaceful. I am present. All is well. Notice the hands resting peacefully now, so soft. You barely notice any movement in the hands. No, they're just loose, unwound, no work. 100% resting on the legs or thighs. We maybe begin to notice some heat or energy between the hands and legs, or the feeling of the skin or fabric as our hands rest. Taking this moment of rest, we receive the message, all is well, no reason to point a finger, push a button, make a fist, write a letter. All is well, I am resting, I am peaceful, I am present. Now finding the center of our body. By connecting navel to backbone or lifting the muscles that would help stop the flow of urine, beginning to notice some heat, awakening that enteric nervous system, our second brain. When we awaken that gut in the center, churning and burning, igniting the flame, turning on the vacuum, the pump, creating the heat and the vacuum, drawing down all of the thoughts and attention and focus and chatter between the ears into that gut, where it's heated up, churned up, burned up, vacuumed and swept away by our breath and heat. I am centered. I am peaceful. I am present. All is well. Notice and remind yourself how the body believes and feels what the mind shows us. And if we see, I am calm, I am peaceful, I am grounded, I am centered, I am safe. The shoulders agree and melt away. The jaw agrees and falls slack. The eyelids smooth and soften as we gaze down. The brow unfurrows. The scalp tingles with happiness and joy. Taking a moment, feeling bursting bubbles of bliss like foamy bath bubbles just bursting across the top of the scalp. I am alive, I am awake, I am invigorated, and I am calm. Finding the breath now, we begin to find the breath and follow it. Finding it first by asking ourselves and noticing, am I inhaling or exhaling? Answering that question and then following it, continuing to answer. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose with the lips barely touching, hearing the words with every inhale. I am inhaling. I am full of breath. And as we exhale, I am exhaling. I am letting go, pushing navel to spine. Following that breath just a few more times. Your pace, your breath, your way. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. I am inhaling. I am full of breath and love and joy. And as you exhale from the nose, the chin drops. I am exhaling. I am letting go of all that does not serve me. And on your next inhale, we're going to fill up our body from the bottom to the top, from our feet to our hair. I want you to inhale through your nose, fill up your feet, then your legs, then your pelvis, then your chest, then your neck, then your face, all the way to the crown. And as you exhale, pour out from the face, from the chest, ribs move together, from belly to spine, from hips to legs to knees and feet. And on your next inhale, inhale into the belly, then the chest, and then the face as you lift the chin, fluttering the eyes open. I was taken away on that one. I needed that so much that words came to me or came through me that I'd never said before. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I feel better. So a quick talk, and then I'll go over a breath, another breath that we haven't covered before and that may help. Okay, I'm going to talk about chaos first. Chaos is the idea that we are not grounded, we are not centered, we are not oriented in our space, and we are not breathing fully or calmly, right? So it is the opposite of all things we just did. And when we find ourselves in that space, we can't just flip a switch from, I can't breathe, I can't focus, I have so much chatter going on. I feel fearful, I feel sad, I feel worried, I feel upset, I feel angry. All of those emotions are rooted in fear, right? We cannot go from fear to peace in an instant and just go, oh, I'm going to choose peace. I'm going to choose happiness because I wish. But your body's also reacting. So to get your mind out of that, what if this happens tomorrow? And oh my God, I can't believe that happened yesterday. And did you hear what happened over here and over there? And oh my gosh, I didn't get this done and this done and this done. And we find ourselves in that, what Darwin calls a hamster wheel, and going. And so when you find yourself in chaos like that, that's, your mind took you there and your body followed you there, right? So in order to get your mind from there, we have to bring our body with us. And it doesn't happen like this. Like, oh my gosh, let's just give it an example. This probably pissed you off before. When you're feeling like that and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm just so worried and I don't know. And, I'm mad at my kid or I'm mad at my husband and I don't know if I have a job tomorrow and I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills and blah, 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 blah. And someone says, okay, just calm down. Don't worry about it. Right? How's that going to, oh, wish I would have thought of that. I'm just going to calm down. Breathe. Just breathe. Yeah, breath doesn't come in those moments, right? So chaos to calm doesn't happen in one step. It happens in a few steps. And the steps that we just went through are those steps. Finding the earth, grounding yourself, centering yourself in your body, finding yourself in your space, and then the breath, right? And on top of that, you can choose thoughts that serve you, right? And I don't know if I've talked about this before, but we cannot go from sad to happy. We may go from sad being an example of any fearful emotion. So sad, anger, fear, depression, rage, grief, all of those fear-based emotions that are, can be valid. And I'm not asking you not to feel them, but to allow feel them and then to find your way back. So if you were to be feeling all those things and then decide, I don't want to feel those things, so I'm just going to focus on gratitude right now, you would feel it almost like you were trying to turn something in the wrong direction or force two magnets together in that, in the wrong direction. You know what I mean? When they're pushing against each other. And you would try it, and it would be really hard work, and you may make it through that moment in that way. And it isn't the worst thing you could do, but it isn't a light switch. And so it depends on how far you've gone down the rabbit hole of fear, in those fear-based emotions, to what you may need to do to return. First, you must acknowledge that, right? Why am I feeling anger? Well, if it's a fear-based emotion, then I'm mad at my daughter because she didn't respond to my text and I was worried something happened to her. Okay, right? So we kind of trace the steps to where the fear is coming from and then decide if it's legitimate or not. If there's not an M in the kitchen, if you're feeling fear, it's probably based on the future, right? You're probably living in tomorrow instead of now. So in those moments, if you can say, this is a temporary feeling, I'm feeling it because of this, that is valid because I'm a good mom and I care about my child and she needs to be more responsible, so I'll address that. But I can stop feeling that way now and I'll get myself from here to here in the spectrum of gratitude or joy by feeling my feet on the floor, finding my center, pushing my navel to my spine, asking myself if I'm inhaling or exhaling, asking myself a few questions. Do I feel my feet on the ground? Can I feel the center of my gut? Can I look around and find 4 textures, 4 colors? Do I feel safe in this space? Do I feel connected to the earth? Can I find the center of my body? And am I inhaling or exhaling? Those questions, right? Answering those questions will bring you back to the present. And then you can go practice some gratitude. I'm so glad that my daughter's okay. I'm so glad that I have communication with her, and this can be a learning possibility or a learning opportunity. I'm so glad that, you can go to gratitude, start there, and then move from there. I'm so glad that the sun is shining today and that I have this opportunity to help other people. So building on that gratitude, then you can move from gratitude to affirmation. I am calm. I am feeling better. And affirmation is really empowering. That was my whole talk today. And so what I'm saying is, don't be so hard on yourself. Sometimes when you're like, we all get there, right? And then we get a little bit pissed at ourselves. Me too. 100%. I was doing it yesterday, right? And Darwin was so helpful. My husband was so helpful because, he took the time to let me express these fear-based emotions, which were frustration, anger, exhaustion, resent, all these things, right? And it was because when I went back and I was like, why am I feeling all of these things? It's because I didn't take the time I needed to recover after the workshop. So when you throw yourself on the floor and let your guts spill out in front of like 20 plus people for like 3 days, and you're there for to look at their guts as well, that's just a bad visual, but you get the picture. We're very vulnerable during 3 days, and it goes in both ways, and we support each other. It's a group effort, And so I usually take the day after to just like, I don't exist. I go get sunshine. I get, I pamper myself. I eat what I want. I sleep as long as I want, and so on. But I didn't do that yesterday. I got up and I went right to work, working on the next one, because my intention is to provide to as many people these tools as I can during this time. Because in the end, the big picture, the big lofty goal, or as I've heard other people call it, the BHAG, the big, hairy, audacious giant or something like that, is that we help the world and through creating empathy and self-compassion, compassion for ourselves and others. And when we do that, we create more inclusion. And when we create more inclusion, we lower suicide rates and mass violence rates and addiction rates and that kind of thing. So, okay, so now you understand why I was like, that was really great. Let's get the next one roll. Let's fill it up and let's share it in another time zone because we're really suffering on the East Coast. Bad idea. If I would have taken that one day off, I wouldn't have crashed and burned. And the way I crashed and burned was feeling all those negative emotions, or negative is not a good word, fear-based emotions. And Darwin reminded me of them and said, you're only going to feel this way until you have replenished yourself. Rest. And he was right. So I saw the fear-based emotion. I named it, gave it a reason. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I didn't take care of myself. Like I didn't walk the walk. So I then, took a shower, got on my fuzzies, ate pizza, laid on the couch, did all those things. And in the meantime, was really grateful in my mind, practicing gratitude, practicing grounding, being mindful, noticing the water in the shower, the smell of the pizza, all of those things, practicing mindfulness and being grateful in those moments. So I didn't go from, I'm really pissed and I'm really resentful and I'm sick, tired and rada, to, oh yeah, you're right, everything's good. It took me a process. But by the time I laid down, I was done with it, right? So I hope this helps some people that may forget to take care of themselves or may find themselves caught in chaos and wonder how they got there because they've done the work and they've had the tools. In times like these, it's really easy for us to get caught in the energy of the crisis and either have some unwillingness to take care of ourselves and putting everyone else first and hurting ourselves in the process, or hurting others because we have all these fear-based emotions and we don't slow down to find a way back from the chaos. So I think I've given you the map and the directions and the GPS on how to get from chaos to calm. And I'm just going to leave you with one last breath. So this breath, and I don't think that we've covered this on Breath with Joyce, but I'm going to need a tissue like I always do when I teach breath. And this one is called alternate nostril breath. We're going to practice it in a very trauma-informed way. I want you to just hold your hands as though just make some separation and have two sides to your hands so that you could do this, right? I don't care how you do it. You can do it with your knuckles this way. You could do it this way. It's nothing fancy about it, right? You could do this cool mudra. And then and I'm going to tell you about this breath and why I chose it, because the chaos starts in the mind and then infiltrates the body. We start with the thought of what if, right? What if happens here in our critical thinking, in our prefrontal cortex, and then it starts adding bricks onto that, right? What if I get sick? Who will take care of my children? How are we going to pay the bills? I need to make it work, whatever, right? So there's brick. And then we start feeling it in our shoulders, like this heavy weight, and so on. It starts to move through the body. Our chest starts to, you're feeling a tightness here. Our shoulders go up, right? Our gut feels, like a little dry in our throat and so on. So this is where we have to begin when we start to come back from chaos. So when you find your ground in that, your orientation, your center, and your breath, just noticing it. And then maybe you practice this. This would be the last resource. Alternate nostril breath works to kind of make these little tiny cyclone breaths in this frontal lobe. And if you use visualization with it to kind of break up all those thoughts, those paper tigers, maybe setting them, sending heat to them, turning them into ash and ember and being swept away, right? So use visualization either by breaking it up with these little cyclones as we move through this breath, and then it sweeps away, or heating up those paper tigers, because if it's not happening now, it's not a reality, right? So if you're worried about tomorrow, yesterday, if it's not happening right now, you can't be for sure that it even is real, right? So we don't have those things. Yesterday already happened. Tomorrow ain't here yet. So, with that being said, just form that two sides of your hand so you can use for your nostrils. Gaze down toward your nose, to the tip of your nose, or close your eyes, or keep your eyes open or closed and gaze up here. So your eyes kind of go a little bit cross, and you can leave your eyes open to do that, or you can close them and do that. I like to do that because we're focusing here again and we're creating some heat there. All right. Now this breath calls for a little bit of holding of the breath. And I'm going to count to 16 when we're on that hold. And I count pretty quickly. I kind of go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like dance. If at any time that feels like a long time to hold your breath, release and move on. So you can always do this at your own pace. All right. Like all things, try based in choice. Gazing up or down, closing the eyes or open. And then close off the right nostril. Inhale through the left, count of 4. Hold both. I'm counting to 16 now. This is when you would visualize either setting those paper tigers into a heat and ash, or scraping, rinsing, washing, whirly winds blowing through, and then release the right nostril. Exhale, pushing out all the breath. Count of 8. Navel to belly button to spine. Inhale, that same right side, count of 4. Hold it up there, wish it, wash it, rinse it. Imagine breaking up all those little bits of information that are not true. Release the other side. Exhale, pushing. Count of 8, navel to spine. Inhale, same side, 4, brisk. Hold both. I'm counting to 16 now. Use your visualization. Release the right side. Exhale, count of 8. Pushing, 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 navel to spine. Again, inhale, right side, count of 4. Hold both. I'm counting. We're visualizing. You see those bits of paper, they're curling up, they're heating up. You see them being swept away and gathered up. And exhale, release left side. Exhale, pushing. 8, pushing, pushing, pushing. Get rid of all the breath. One more time. Inhale, 4. Hold both. Release right side. Exhale, 8. Push, 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 push. Navel to spine. Release your hands down to your lap. Gaze down at the floor. Take an inhale now. We're going to fill up our belly, then our chest, then our face as we lift the chin. Feel a smile behind your eyes. I want you to just take a moment with me. Look up and reach up. So much going on down and below us right now. We're on our phones. I want you to bend your elbows, push your shoulder blades together behind you. Look up, reach up, separate your hands in opposite directions. Palms up, fingers separated as wide as you can, as though you were trying to feel a stretch between your palms. Gazing up, raise the eyebrows, open the eyes, open the mouth. Maybe wiggle that jaw back and forth. So much of looking down, so much of on the phone, so much of on the computer. Not now. Not in this moment. I am here. I am present. I am open to all possibilities. I am allowing the light. I am the light. I am bringing the light. As you exhale, lower your hands and your eyes. Thanks, guys. Always a good time. I love you all very much, and I appreciate you. I'll see you next week. Thanks for trying.